Now he's hurting teams with his hands, too. Sebastian Giovinco has punished teams in every way imaginable since his arrival, so it was fairly improbable he'd find a new way to make a difference Wednesday night. Spoiler alert. He did. There Giovinco was minutes into TFC's stunning 2-1 win over Orlando City, picking up an out-of-bounds ball before hurling it behind Orlando's unsuspecting defense. Tosaint Ricketts dashed in a lone non-goal before calmly finishing over ex-TFC netminder Joe Bendy, an important goal for a Canadian international looking to find his rhythm with World Cup qualifying looming. It also was a significant goal as far as the Eastern Conference is concerned. The result pushed TFC in front of New York City for top spot in the East. Those words have never been typed this late in an Milliliters season. He was thinking quicker than they were, Vanney said of Giovinco's throw-in. Seb is a guy who's incredibly smart and omnipresent to make a difference. Toronto's hopes were briefly dashed at the start of the second half when Kyle Larin rose to head a corner down and past Alex Bono. After that, the desperation inside Camping World Stadium was palpable. Riding a 6-game unbeaten run, the Reds didn't need the result here. With just 5 wins this season, Orlando did. Now the Lions find themselves on the cusp of a playoff berth amid a coaching change. The Reds, meanwhile, are far more comfortable thanks in large part to Joey Altidore. Giovinco's threaded pass with minutes remaining put Toronto's informed target man in a lone non-goal. Altidore, who looked to be offside on the game-winning finish, calmly danced around Bendy before scoring. Call it redemption after what happened the last time the Reds traveled to a land of Disney. Sometimes weird situations happen in games, Altidore responded to the Toronto Sunday It is what it island you're going to get calls against you and for you. No matter, Toronto FC officially is the hottest team in Major League Soccer. And with 6 games remaining at BMO Field, the fall is going to be an electric time for a side that's almost guaranteed to, finally, host a playoff game. We wanted to arrive back in front of our fans on the weekend in first place, Vanney told the Sunday. I'm optimistic and hesitant at times about being in first place. I'm optimistic in the full belief that our team has been capable of doing this. But it's always important to play like you have something to prove and that you're the underdog. That was my message to the group. We haven't accomplished anything. Of course, that's probably a bit modest. The Reds have won 6 of 7, 3 of which were on the road. They've conceded just 27 times through 26 milliliter fixtures amid accumulating the best goal difference in the East. Keep in mind the Vanney rested multiple players from the start of Wednesday's win. Justin Morrow and Steven Beitashour both were given blows while Altidore and Will Johnson made second-half cameos. Altidore was complicated only in that he probably should have scored 2 more. A good problem to have given the Reds weren't scoring prior to his return. He's playing big and physical, Vanney said. That's really difficult for the defenders in this league to deal with. He has been unstoppable since returning a month ago, which has contributed to the Reds rocketing up the table. They couldn't be heading into the biggest match of the season in better form. The Reds are readying to host struggling Montreal in front of a capacity crowd. The BMO. BNDIK finally bent as an old friend almost came back to haunt Toronto FC. Ex-TFC netminder Joe Bendy was fantastic throughout the Reds' 2-1 win over Orlando City. He stymied a pair of clear-cut attempts from Joey Altidore in the second half before he was finally beaten with minutes remaining. Bendy made some big-time stops that kept it at 1-1. TFC coach Greg Vanney said, I thought his distribution was good and his choices were good. I thought he had a solid game. In the end, it wasn't enough. At the opposite end, TFC reserve Alex Bono also came up big early in the match, denying Kyle Larin after the Canadian was put in on the breakaway.